What's poppin' YouTube? Welcome back to Two Brother Vlogs. I know this is an absolute different setup to what we are used to. I know we're going to go back to motorcycling really soon. But yes, this video is for a little few of you who wanted a little bit of insights about aviation industry, how we are going through, what is happening in the industry right now. Because I've been in that. I know the struggles which I had to go through. I'm here to help those few guys who want to come into aviation and also to the others who are interested in it. So this is basically a point of view, a little bit about aviation, a little bit about general life. So again, I am not shooting this on my regular camera. I'm shooting this on my phone. So this is actually the first time we are recording something on this phone. So how will it look at the end of the day? I still don't know. We have to look at the post-production to see the quality of the video output. But any which ways, welcome back to your channel. Welcome back to Two Brother Vlogs. Yes, so aviation industry in general right now is going through an amazing time, especially when it comes to recruitments, right? There is a huge build-up of orders when it comes to airlines like Air India Express, which is one and the same, the parent company, and Akasa, which is expected to have a huge order coming up in the near future. Indigo has placed a really big order. So we have currently in Indian aviation, Indigo was the dominant player, and now we have Tata Group with Air India emerging really big, spending really big money to change the monopoly in the Indian aviation scenario. So we are getting that duopoly right now with Air India coming into the industry, and right now is absolutely the perfect time to get into aviation. The jobs are plenty. High airlines are poaching pilots who have got even the smallest amount of experience, because there are too many planes and not enough pilots to fly them right now. So if you are even a little bit inclined towards doing your pilot training, now is absolutely the time. And it is expected by the end of this financial year, or I think even this fiscal year, that is next month, worst case scenario by March, Akasa might place a triple-digit order for aircrafts again. So as an industry, this is very small. There are not many pilots in the world. So you pretty much are going to get hired really soon. So the competition is always there, no matter which field you go, how you do it. But right now, the chance of getting that first job into aviation is sky high. It is surprising at how fast people are getting recruited. Like, I know so many cases where people have received their CPLs in the recent past, in the last 3-4 months, and they're pretty much bang on into the interview stage or later interview stage of their first jobs in aviation. Let it be in Indigo, let it be in Air Asia or Air India Express, so, or even for that matter Akasa. So these three airlines are actually coming in very big in our Indian market. And big question what people can ask is the market there for such an expansive growth? Understand that we are a population of over 1.3 billion people in India, and a very minuscule population still travels by flight. And in spite of that, if you see or travel in any aircraft in current scenario, they are full. No matter which airline you're traveling, where you're traveling to, the aircrafts are full of passengers. That has become a big driving force for all the airlines to, take in more aircrafts, grow, expand. And in the near future, I'm not talking about distant future, but in near future, I am sure our Air India is going to give competition to the likes of Emirates and Etihad in the global scale. So be prepared. If you are interested in aviation, ping me. I will help you in whatever way possible. I know I used to do a little bit of orientation earlier on my simulator, which is my right here. And I will restart doing that because I was very busy for the last 3-4 months where I couldn't give any ab initio classes for you guys. But I'll restart doing that. But again, aviation industry, definitely get into right now. It's very bullish. Market is growing at rates of knots. And when it comes to aviation, right, I'll give you another very small insight of it. What is a minimum requirement for a pilot? Minimum, you have to be a +2 with math, physics and chemistry. So if you don't have math, the option is go to math or physics or any of these subjects. You can give an exam from an open university. You can get your maths, physics, chemistry, and then you can apply for your pilot training course. This is the regulation in India. One more biggest myth which people have is, can you fly with glasses? Answer is yes. You can fly with glasses. There is absolutely no problem. Only regulation says that you have to carry an extra set, which is absolutely fair. So there is no problem. You can fly with glasses. You can get your eye corrective surgery, something like LASIK surgery done, and it is not a problem in commercial aviation. So if you ask me about what do you call, not commercial, but if you're military flying, I am not a military pilot. I will not be able to advise you. Yes, there are people who come from the military to the commercial side when they retire. But if you want to go straight into your commercial flying, the option is get into a flying school after your 12th, after your engineering, whatever, your graduation, and then get your course. Quality of training is very important. Cost of training is very high as well. So how do you save money when it comes to, say, flying schools and getting your CPL for your flying? One, end of the day, you are burning fuel. Today's day and age, fossil fuels are expensive. There is no way around it. Because you're burning fuel, when you have to gain experience as a pilot, you will be spending a good chunk of money in fuel itself. No matter which flying school you go, India, abroad, wherever, because you're going to fly an aircraft that is going to be expensive. So be prepared, and you will have to shell out a good sum of money. Again, people ask, there are a lot of aircraft which are trainer friendly. A lot of schools offer different options as well. So one thing which is very important is, remember, again, money is there, money is expensive, money is difficult to make, find, whatever you want to say, but do not fly older generation aircrafts. I'm talking of aircrafts like the Cessna 152. I did my pilot training in 2009 and I considered a Cessna 152 old then. If you see now, those aircrafts are good 40-50 years old. So they might cost you a little less to get trained on those aircrafts, but come on. A machine which is 50 years old, I wouldn't trust my life on it, very genuinely. So spend that little money, go for a better aircraft, something like a Cessna 172, you have diamonds. So make sure when you contact your school, get the average fleet, what do they have, and make sure their aircrafts are not very old, not more than 20 years old. 20 years is still fine, not more than 20 years old. So something past 2000, if the aircraft is manufactured, it might cost you a little more, I agree. But again, money over life, any day life, right? So be careful when you choose your flight school. Also remember, when you do your flight school, the flight school does not give you the exact picture of how much money it is going to cost you, and they give you the minimum amount. So it is a problem. They don't give you, in India, more or less they try to finish you off in that, but outside countries they give you a minimum estimate of, let's say a private pilot needs so many hours, so they give you an estimate for that, and it is all right, impossible to finish in that minimum hours. You end up spending more on your instructor fees, a little more on dual training, and all these add up substantially. So when you actually go to a flight school, ask them for a quotation outside India, especially. Take at least another 10 to 15% margin on top of what they give you as a quotation. And if you choose a flight school in India, be very careful. Look at their history. Look at the maintenance history. What I'm talking about? So make sure they have good aircrafts. Talk to the people there. Talk to the students. It's very important to know the students to aircraft ratio. So because the market is so bullish right now, it is very important to finish your training at the earliest time possible. The faster you finish it, the more money you're going to save, let it be in living expenses or whatever. And more aircraft the school has, the better for you. You can go for your flights literally on a daily basis and get done with your course. It is very important to finish at the earliest possible and fly very safe and learn from good quality trainers. The better your training standards are, the easier it is going to be for you when you actually get a job flying the bigger commercial aircraft. Flying a commercial aircraft is quite different to flying a training aircraft, but the basics of flying would remain the same. You would learn a lot more systems. It would be kind of overwhelming initially, but all of us have been through that. I've been through that. No matter how senior a pilot is, starts off with a small trainee aircraft. Yes, and moreover, the cost of training, right? Another thing which is to be overlooked, or which has been overlooked. So about $60,000 is what an average flight school in US charges at this point, plus your living expenses, visa, your exam fees, all those are on top of this and not this. I'm giving you a very rough estimate. Each flight school, depending on the aircraft you fly, would be more or less. So it is very dynamic. It can't be specified by one particular figure. So if you fly something like a Cessna 152, it would cost you less than compared to a Cessna 172. Even in Cessna 172s, there are different versions of the aircraft which you can choose and go for flying, which would cost you different based on the age of the aircraft, the electronics which are provided. The school might charge you a different amount for them. So look at the school's aircraft, look at what they offer, the entirety in your living expenses, accommodation, if they provide any, your food. Have an estimate. If possible, talk to students who are currently in that school to get an understanding of how the flight school is before you actually go ahead and decide on that decision. Moreover, once you get your first pilot job, you'll be trained on a particular type of aircraft. That particular training is called type rating. No matter which airline in India you get a job for, you would have to shell that money yourself. The airline is not going to sponsor it. Be prepared for that. Each airline charges different between 20 lakhs to 35 lakhs. So again, obviously the airline would send you for training at much lesser, but they would keep that money for your other training expenses, which are like your other courses which you need, which is needed to get you online for an aircraft. So be prepared to shell out another between 20 to 35 lakh rupees once you get a job. So end of the day, it is about 70 lakhs to 1 crore is what I say a pilot would spend before he starts earning money as a pilot. If it happens for less, it is well and good. But again, remember, quality of training is first, or should I say safety is first, quality of training is second, and your time taken for your course. Do it at the earliest right now because of the market scenarios. It cannot be a better time to be a pilot, especially a rookie, a freshman, because airlines are hiring left, right and center because they're not able to find pilots in today's day and age in India. As we speak now, my airline, we are getting foreign pilots back because there are not enough people in India to fly these machines. So that has been the state of things. That is what is going to be the state of things in the near foreseeable future as well. All the airlines are getting back expats which were sent back during the COVID because we don't have enough pilots in our country. So make sure if you are interested in the course, do it well, do it in a good flight school, do it safe, and come back and apply for your jobs. It takes time. I know everything good takes time, right? So nurture yourself, be patient. Very important in the aviation industry. You will go through a lot of turmoils, ups and downs. That's part of life. So be prepared for that. And how is the life of a pilot, right? That's another very big question. Is it a safe industry? Is what a lot of parents feel, right? Aviation industry or aircrafts are the safest mode of transportation. It is a myth. Our Indian culture is such, we don't believe in anything new at our first sight. So unfortunately, small things like even something like UPI, which has become common now, or shopping on websites like Amazon, online shopping. When they launched, none of us believed that it was real. People used to be under the myth that it's a fraud, you lose your money, you lose your life, you lose this, that. Same thing in aviation. Not good awareness. People are not aware. Aviation industry is safe. It is by far the safest industry or mode of transportation in the world. God forbid something happens, it can happen at any time, even when you're walking on the road, even in your house, when you're walking down your stairs. But all those put aside, aviation industry is a really safe industry. All pilots are rigorously trained to handle the worst of the situations for the entirety of their training, entirety of their careers as well. You are tested not day in and day out, but every 6 months you go through a very rigorous check to make sure you are proficient and capable of handling every possible scenario when it comes to aircrafts. When talking about this, aviation industry, on the outside, people think that it's a very, very glamorous job. Frankly, there is no glamour in any job. It is hard work. The same here as well. There is a lot of study. We study day in and day out because there's something small component which can change in the aircraft which would change the entire dynamics of it. So remember, as a pilot, you would be studying till the time you retire as a pilot. You will have checks, different checks every year or every 6 months. There are few checks which happen once in 6 months. There are few which happen once in a year and few once in 2 years. You have to be, as a pilot, you have to know a lot of things. It is huge, the amount of knowledge which you require to be a good pilot, and you are trained for that when you start flying. So understand, aviation is a very, very safe industry. It is governed by rules and regulations. and everything among these rules is under an envelope of safety. So safety is of utmost and prime importance when somebody is going to the air. So that is where the aviation industry standards of safety are really high and really good no matter which part of the world you go to. And finally, how is the life of a pilot? It is difficult at times, it is fun. People ask, do you have time for your family, friends, and all the other hangama which is around in you in your life, which is important as well, right? You can't just keep flying at 24/7, 365. Yes, you don't get your offs on Saturdays and Sundays or all the times. You might not. You will definitely get a weekly off. There is ample rest in between two flights, which is again regulated as per the regulations or the government, which prescribes the rules and acts which have to be followed. So you definitely have enough time for your family, for your friends, for if you're YouTubing, for that. You have enough time for everything. It is how you cater to that, and you're not in the sky 24/7. You're not a bondage labor in simple terms. So you would enjoy the perks of life along with having something very special. It's a very privileged job, that's what I feel, and it is one of the best feeling when you can actually fly an aircraft. I know this video is actually not for a lot of you, but for those little, if it helps you getting into aviation, now is definitely the time. I would love to see you guys fly with me someday, and this is a small insight. I would definitely keep coming up with more podcast style videos about aviation. But yes, you can definitely reach out to me regarding aviation. My Instagram handle, I would reply. I reply to most. I might be a little late because at times I get busy with work and all, but I would definitely try to reply to each and every message which I receive. So saying this, I hope you guys understood a little bit of my industry and would love to see you guys in the air really soon. Until then, bye guys. Love you. Take care. See ya.